Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's lesson. We are going to learn about dative with me. So we have four cases in German. The four cases, last lesson I had mentioned them. We have the nominative case, we have the accusative case, we have the dative case, and also you have the genitive case. And today I want us to look deeply about dative case. Let me write it on the board. So dative. So when do we use dative? That should be the question that is running in our minds. We use dative case, number one, when we are referring to indirect objects in a sentence. We also use dative case, number two, when you have dative prepositions. I'm going to list them down here. And also number three, we use dative case when we are using the dative verbs. So let us start with the first one. We use it when referring to indirect objects in a sentence. Number two, we use the dative case when we have dative prepositions. And the final one, we use the dative case when you have dative verbs. So for these dative verbs, I would like you to really memorize on them. Also the dative prepositions, you should memorize on them. Okay, so let us look deeply about the indirect objects in a sentence. That is what I want us to tackle, the first thing right now. But before we go into that, I want us to look at the dative articles. Let's now dive into dative articles. So we have the masculine case, masculine gender, sorry. We have the feminine. We have neutral. And the final one, we have plural. So we have the definite article there of Deutsch, we have der, die, das, die. We also have the indefinite article. In German, we have, in English, you have a or ein, but in German, it's just one, ein, eine, ein. And also, I'm going to talk about the possessive article. So let me just write them in English, but we're going to list them in German. For possessive article, I want us to choose one, though it applies to the rest. I want us to choose my. So for masculine, the der in the nominative case, it changes to dem. For feminine, it changes from die to der. For neutral, it changes from das to dem. And also for plural, it changes from die to den. So for example, if you're saying the man, and maybe he's an indirect object or the rest of the rules that I've given you, you're going to say the man. If you want to say the woman, you're going to say der Frau. If you want to say the child, you're going to say dem Kind. And if you want to say the children, you're going to say den Kinder. So let us go to a or ein. And then one thing also in English, we don't have apples. So we don't have the plural of the article ein. So we're just going to put a small dash there. So for masculine, we're going to have einem. For feminine, eine. For neutral, einem also. If you want to say a man, you're going to say einem Mann. If you want to say a woman, you're going to say eine Frau. And if you want to say a child, you're going to say einem Kind. Let's go to my. So also for my, it's going to be in masculine, meinem. When you want to say my man, you're going to say meinem Mann. For feminine, it's going to be meine. My woman, you're going to say meine Frau. A child. We have meinem, you're going to say meinem Kind. And then you also have plural. If you want to say my friends, you're going to say meinen Freunden. Okay, so these ones are the dative articles that we have. Let us now proceed to making sentences. And then you have a small subtitle there, indirect objects in a sentence. Let me just write indirect objects. So let me give you a sentence in English so that we analyze it.
The time is 11.
One second, you can read this one. I buy my daughter a dress. I'm going to teach you how we are going to translate it into German. I buy my daughter a dress. So what do we buy? Are we buying the daughter or are we buying the dress? So we are buying the dress. So the dress is going to be the direct object. This one receives the action of the verb directly. And then you have my daughter. So my daughter, she's going to receive the action, but now indirectly. We are not going to buy our daughter, but we are buying a dress. So our daughter becomes the indirect object. So we have here subject, indirect object, and a direct object. So for the subject, it always takes nominative case. For the indirect object, it will take now the dative case, and then for the direct object, which is address, it's going to take the accusative case. Let me just write it. So this one, nominative case. Let me just write nominative, dative, and then accusative. So let us now write our sentence in German. So I in German is ich. To buy, it is kaufen, then we conjugate it according to ich, so it will be ich kaufe. And then my daughter, now we are going to say meine Tochter. And then address in German, we say ein Kleid. So you're going to say, ich kaufe meiner Tochter ein Kleid. Say it after me. Ich kaufe meiner Tochter ein Kleid. Okay, so let us have some more examples. Masculine one, feminine, plural, and neutral. So let us put now for masculine. I gave, my sister gives my husband a car. My sister gives my husband a car. So a car is going to be our direct object. My husband, the indirect object. So let us write another one. Now let us put that sentence. I buy my daughter a dress. Okay. Wow, he's a spendthrift, yeah? He buys his friends cars. Okay, so you have the first sentence here. My sister gives my husband a car. My husband, indirect object, and then a car, the direct object. I buy my daughter a dress. So this dress is going to be indirect object, and then a dress. My daughter, the indirect object, and then a dress, the direct object. She gives the child the tea. So the child is going to be the indirect object. The T is going to be the direct object. So he buys his friends cars. His friends are going to be the indirect objects. And then the cars are going to be direct objects. So let us put this sentence in German. I'm going to write next here. So number 1, number 2, number 3. So follow up, I'm going to write number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So my sister, it will be meine Schwester. Gibt meinem Mann ein Auto. Meine Schwester gibt meinem Mann ein Auto. The second one, I buy my daughter a dress. Ich kaufe meiner Tochter ein Kleid. Ich kaufe meiner Tochter ein Kleid. And then you have number 3. She gives the child the tea. Sie gibt dem Kind den Tee. And then you have the final one. He buys his friends cars. Er kauft seinen Freunden Autos. And also include an article, die Autos. So the first one, meine Schwester gibt meinem Mann ein Auto. The second one, ich kaufe meiner Tochter ein Kleid. The third one, sie gibt dem Kind den Tee. And then the final one, er kauft seinen Freunden die Autos. So that is it about the indirect objects. You can go on and make more and more sentences by yourself. Let us go to the second thing. We're going to talk about I'm going to give you just some few examples of verbs, dative verbs. You can go ahead and look for more examples. So dative verbs. So we have schenken, to gift. Maybe you want to gift your mom something. In German, you're going to write that sentence using schenken. We also have geben. Geben means to give. It is also a dative verb. We have danken, to thank someone. We also have helfen, which means to help. We can go on and on and on and mention a lot of verbs. So let us just stop from there today. So let us make some few sentences using these verbs. I gift my mother a car. Today I've really used a car. Or should I gift her a dog? Let us gift her a dog. So I gift my mother, a dog. And then you have number 2, I give the man a book. Have number 3, I thank the child. Let me just write a short one. I thank the child. And then number 4, she helps the guests. I'm going to write the translations just down there. So because we are using gift, give, thank, and help, we are going to use the dative case. So I gift is schenke meiner Mutter einen Hund. So ich schenke meiner Mutter einen Hund. I give the man a book. Ich gebe dem Mann ein Buch. Ich gebe dem Mann ein Buch. I thank the child. Ich danke dem Kind. Ich danke dem Kind. She helps the guests. Sie hilft den Gästen. So, sie hilft den Gästen. So those are some of the dative verbs. You can go on and search more. And also this is how you're supposed to write the sentences. Just because of that verb, that one verb, you're going to use the dative case. So let us now move on swiftly to the dative prepositions, and I'm going to list the ones that we have. Dative prepositions. I'm also going to list a few, but you're going to search more. So we have meet, which means with. We have aus, which means from. We have nach, which also means from. Also we have zu, which means to. This aus mostly it's used when you want to say I come from this country, something of the sort. Okay, so let us put down some sentences here. I talk with my father. I talk with my father. The second one, she comes from Switzerland. We have the third one. After work, I will go shopping. And then number 4, my child goes to school. So let me write the translations in blue. So I talk with my father. Okay. So you're going to say ich spreche mit meinem Vater Ich spreche mit meinem Vater. She comes from Switzerland. So Switzerland is called the Schweiz. So we're going to say sie kommt aus der Schweiz. After work, I will go shopping. Nach der Arbeit kaufe ich ein. Nach der Arbeit kaufe ich ein. My child goes to school. Mein Kind geht zur Schule. Mein Kind geht zur Schule. So those are some of the dative prepositions. We don't only have 4, we still have others. You can go on and get more. So that is it about our lesson today about dative. Join me in our next lesson. Thank you. And then our number, if you want to have more lessons, see how I teach in Kiplabs, you can write down this number. Let me clear up the board first of all. So this is our number 0710 462 063. Thank you and have a nice day.